Who's the fella that owns this shithole? I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game.
Why, Ike, whatever do you mean? Maybe poker just isn't your game. I know. Let's have a spelling contest.
Howdy, partner. I'm looking for the Western video collection. You got one of those in here? He was Renee Zellweger's husband in a past life. Lee Bridges! Like Ike Clanton, he failed the spelling test. Garrick Lane! He is as annoying as his brother's kids. Doug Wall! Welcome to Tales from the Video Store. The Tales from the Video Store. This is the Western special classic show. We're doing it live from Tombstone, North Carolina, in the heart of oil country. How we doing, boys?
Doing pretty good.
Everything's fine.
Did you guys watch any pictures?
Any picture shows?
Yeah. Did you watch any picture
Any
shows?
talking pictures? I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go first? You want me to? I watched a shitload of
No,
stuff.
you go first.
All right, we'll get through my montage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go through mine.
Okay, so we're in the Western block. I wanted to watch a little-known Western, mid-'90s. So I found Posse. I'd actually spoken about it,
Right.
about a few weeks ago,
Piece of shit.
and saw that it was on. I don't remember if it was Prime or somewhere. From 1993, directed by Mario Van Peebles. And Billy Zane, Big Daddy Kane, Stephen Baldwin was in it, and was actually maybe my favorite part of the movie,
Right.
honestly. Man, it's just terrible.
I haven't seen it since about 93.
It's just impossible to follow, man.
Right.
It's one of those where it's like, we speak often about movies that, or subjects that maybe need to be revisited. This is one that most certainly needs to be revisited. Maybe not this exact movie, but something along these lines. I think at the beginning of the movie they said like 1 out of every 3 cowboys from like 1860 to like the 1900s were African Americans. And how many cowboy movies starring African Americans can you really think of other than this one?
Right.
Not many. I'm sure there's more than just this one.
Sure.
But there's not many. This one, there's just a ton of weird flashbacks. There's 2 villains that you see one villain at the beginning, and then there's another one, and then the original comes back later. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be something that it just wasn't.
Right. Well, if I'm remembering correctly, like that, this was the movie. This was like the bigger budget movie.
Yeah.
He got after New Jack City.
Yes.
After New Jack City was a big hit. This was sort of his.
And that was the last one he got after New Jack
And
City.
he wasted his shot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's just poor direction, more nonsense than story.
But that came out during that Tombstone Wyatt Earp, that little Unforgiven. That was one of those.
This was in '93.
Right.
Yeah,
So it was around when all those came out, and that's what Hollywood was ordering.
Right.
Hollywood was ordering
Sort of
white. It was all white westerns, like it was. It was all white westerns. There's no black people in Tombstone.
Yeah.
There's no black people in Wyatt Earp. They needed it, but he did blow his shot. It could have been so good, and he blew his shot for sure.
it just didn't work out at all. It's just terrible.
He doesn't make very good movies. New Jack City, if you really look at New Jack City, you enjoy New Jack City, but it's not that good. It's not that good.
It's the people that are in it make it more than the movie makes the people in it. If that makes
That's
sense.
right. Yes.
I sat down and I started a 2012 Will Ferrell movie by the name of Casa de Mi Padre.
It's a Spanish language movie.
Right?
Yeah.
I made it 11 minutes and 10 seconds into it and was like, nope, I'm not watching this. It just seemed just horrific. So I found another Western, 2014, The Salvation, on Netflix.
With
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Christian Levering, a Danish filmmaker, made it. It's a cool concept for a movie. It looks amazing. Like, the guy has, like, there are these night shots where he's using this funky filter, and it just looks unique. I've just never seen anything quite like it.
Right.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the bad guy in this. The camera work is great. The story is not.
Is there an actor who's a present day actor whose coolness is squandered as much as Mads Mikkelsen?
Man, I don't know.
Because you'll see some stuff and you're like, man, that's gonna be awesome. Then you watch it and you're like, eh.
Yeah, why?
It's just like he's so cool that like you see like the Doctor Strange movie, he's just there.
Yeah,
he does like it's nothing.
It's pointless.
Yeah,
anybody could have been.
Anybody could have been. Yeah, it's like he's just Hollywood. That's a guy who's like because we're actually legitimately cool actors.
There's not a whole lot.
There's not a whole lot of
them.
And he's got like a guy who passed away, Rutger Hauer. Hollywood could never really figure out what to do to Rutger Hauer when he was a leading man.
Agreed.
And they're just kind of the same way with Mads. Like they don't like he's he's got a weird kind of accent. They don't really
And he's got a unique features to his face. I mean, he looks like Mads Mikkelsen.
Right. Exactly.
Just there's some parts in it. I'm not going to say not.
It's got a cool trailer. That's all I've seen.
Oh, check it out, man.
Yeah.
You might like it more than I did.
Right.
It's got some really cool visuals. It's just the story all in all, and maybe it's the filmmaker not being from this country and trying to, maybe something's lost in translation.
Right.
Like we've talked about before.
Who are we talking about? Mads Mikkelsen? Why do I not know him?
I don't know.
Bad guy from Casino Royale.
Yeah, he's awesome.
How do you spell that?
Mads
Nicholson.
So it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. You've seen him in a million movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
he was in...
He's been in all kinds of things.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
all right.
Yeah.
It just caught me off guard for a minute. I'm trying to put my face on. Yeah.
And then I got lucky. And I was flipping through Amazon.
Right.
And under the new releases was the 1986 classic Critters.
Nice.
Yes. D. Wallace, young as fuck Billy Zane, and little Scott Grimes.
Yep.
Scott Grimes. I hated this motherfucker, and I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
So, in this movie, there's a part... Scott Grimes is like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid. These space critters come down, and they're wrecking the town and all this. Well, this little redheaded son of a bitch, he gets a light and puts it on the front of his bike. And I was like, holy shit. And he's running in the dark and all this, and I was like, man, I've got to get one of these. So I mowed fucking lawns. I did everything I could do for like 3 months to save up enough money to buy a lamp to put on the front of my bike. I couldn't see a fucking thing.
Right.
Other people could see me, which was great, but I couldn't see shit. I was so fucking pissed at Scott fucking Grimes over that. I was like, Grimes, you motherfucker.
I love it, and you're like 13-year-old. You thought he made that creative decision.
I did, yeah. I was like, oh my god, he's a fucking genius. I've got to do this. And I could have taken a flashlight and just taped it to the thing.
Yeah, well, it would work better.
But I was like, oh no, like there's a specialty one. And I found, like a specialty bike lamp.
Yeah. And
it just didn't work. Scott, everything's fine now. I've gotten over it. I like you now. All right, we're good. The one scene from that movie that kind of sticks out to me and did back then, and then when I watched it again, because I haven't seen it in forever, is at the very end, like once the shit goes down, the house rebuilding itself is killer, dude.
Yeah. The 80s were full of movies like that.
Yeah. It's like it's a golden classic.
I rewatched what's the name of that movie? The little goblins that come out of the ground.
Crud?
I can't even remember the name
Ghoulies?
of it. No, not Ghoulies.
But it's in the same.
Yeah, but the effects look amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was all done. It was all forced perspective shots, and the monsters were all like full size guys in suits, and they had all these amazing looking. It's like this $2 million movie.
Yeah.
And like now you make a low budget horror movie, it looks like garbage.
Yeah.
But the ones in the 80s, like Critters, has amazing special effects.
It looks great,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, terrible, but great.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Right. Exactly.
I know what you mean
it's
by
the
great.
best Gremlins ripoff.
Oh, not even. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, and if you're in that type of person, that actually means something.
It does.
You're like, yeah, fucking Critters is better than Ghoulies.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I watched. Good night.
Yeah. But, cool. I watched a movie I actually started watching a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But then, 10 minutes in, my phone rang.
Yeah.
I finished rewatching the Korean spaghetti western from 2010, The Good, the Bad, the Weird.
Nice.
I watched that one too.
It is on Hulu right now, and it's one of the most entertaining movies of the 21st century. I'll be honest with you, it's supremely entertaining.
It really is. Everything about it is great.
Yeah. Kim Jong-un, the director, he directed the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I'm having brain farts today.
That's fine.
The one where the border, the drug dealer's trying to get across the Last Stand.
Last Stand.
That was his big American movie, and he hasn't directed anything over here since. But it's just like it's a weird thing because Sergio Leone, you can't. He's the only director I think his work cannot be duplicated. You can either parody it or like this movie or something like Django, you homage it. But
right.
he's so original,
Right.
It can never be duplicated.
It can never be duplicated.
This is probably as close as you can get. This movie.
I agree.
And it's like it has that sort of weird spaghetti western tone, even though it's Korean.
Yeah.
And,
Not in shot wise.
no, not shot wise.
Shots are
the tone.
much more. Yeah, the tone, definitely in the tone.
Yeah, but it's a super cool movie.
Oh,
I actually saw it in the theater in Charlotte when it came out.
Oh, sure.
They played it like one night, and cannot recommend it enough.
I don't remember if I saw it on Netflix or Amazon a few years ago.
I think it was on Amazon. Netflix a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu now. And very something. Guy treasure map, 3 guys, 3 criminals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, triple crossing each other to
Yeah.
get to the treasure. And the treasure is not what you think it is.
No, it isn't.
And but I can't recommend it enough.
No, that's a double. That's a second to me.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it because you just did, but it's that good. See it.
And the only other thing I started 2 new TV shows. One was The Boys on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
All right, let's talk about The Boys.
All right. Tell me what you... Because I watched the first...
Yeah.
Either the first episode, maybe first episode and a half.
Right.
I think.
Well, when Amazon announced that they were going to make it, I was very shocked because I've read the comic book.
Okay,
and it's
Okay.
incredibly offensive. The comic book's actually more explicit, and I was very shocked that they were going to make this.
Right.
To sort of sum up the show, there's the boys are this sort of anti-superhero group, and in this world, the Justice League exists. There's a Superman type character, Wonder Woman type character, but they're all just corporate pawns. They don't solve crimes. They do like publicity stunts,
And they're dicks.
and they suck. They range from douches to psychopaths. There are really no good superheroes. And there's one character called Translucent who's invisible, but his skin is like impenetrable. So when the boys kidnap him, they have to figure out how to kill him.
Yeah.
So they stick a bomb up his butt and blow him up from the inside, and it's extremely graphic.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I enjoy what I've seen. I've only seen the first 4 episodes.
You've gotten that far into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but I knew what I was getting into.
Well, I'd read and heard some things,
Yeah.
and I thought, you know what, this looks like something I would like.
Right.
And an episode and a half in, I'm like, man, I don't know.
But see, that's the thing. It's so bleak. There's nothing fun about it.
No.
Really.
No, there isn't.
And I kind of wonder why, because it's a very slick-looking show.
And that's Dennis Quaid's son that is Huey,
Huey, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Which
In
I
the-
thought was pretty cool.
In the comic book, Huey is drawn to look like Simon Pegg,
Oh.
which is Simon Pegg plays his dad in the show.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
but it's, like I said, it's very well made, but there's nothing. It's just, if you're not into that type of show, in that type of story, just bleak for the sake of bleakness.
Well, it's a unique,
Yeah.
idea. This company, the Vault Company, they basically manage all these heroes, and it's not just the 7 that
No.
are the best of the
200.
best. There's like 200.
Yeah.
And they rent them out to cities in need and areas in need, but they come and they smile and they act like superheroes, like we want them to be, but they're just the worst.
Yeah, they are the worst.
Okay. Well, I'll watch it, more of it then.
It's already been renewed for a second season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
all right.
But the only other show, I started another show, its first season of it is on Hulu. It's called Lodge 49.
Okay.
And the only thing I can say, it's more like it's like Twin Peaks if it was sweet. Like this guy, sort of a loser guy, he's got metal detector at the beach, and he finds this ring. He tries to pawn it. The guy tells him it's worthless, but it's like a ring, it's like a mason ring, but it's called the Order of the Lynx.
Okay.
And his car runs out, and as he's driving away from the pawn shop, his car runs out of gas in front of the lodge for the Order of the Lynx. So he goes in there, and they tell him about joining and everything. And just all this weird stuff starts happening. But Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, plays the sort of stoner.
Nice.
And he believes in it so much. He's so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's just it's the opposite of The Boys. Even though there's a lot of adult things happening, it's very hopeful and
nice.
So if you watch The Boys and you just hate it and you just hate the way it makes you feel,
watch this.
Try Lodge 49.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's only the other thing. I've just rewatched a couple other things, but nothing really. Just stuff I've seen 1,000 times before.
Well, I watched a lot of films. I have been working from sofas and Barnes and Nobles. My son has been at Magic Camp up in Asheville, and I've took him, and instead of spending all that time commuting, I just decided to crash on a buddy's sofa and work from his sofa and work mobily there. And it's given me a lot of time to watch movies. I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Mm-hmm. We've already discussed. I did watch Shazam. And I felt like there was a lot of the same. Have you seen Shazam?
I have seen Shazam.
I've seen it as well.
I think it's an oddly toned movie because there's a lot of, almost horror element stuff in it that I think is sort of out of place for a movie this light. Like the stuff where the woman touches the mirror and she dissolves, she melts, and where the monsters come in and eat all the business people. That seems like
too much
it
for
seems,
this
It seems
movie.
out of tone for the rest of the movie. The character Shazam, which used to be called Captain Marvel, but that's a whole legal thing. That's for a comic book podcast. The character of Shazam he's always been sort of like Superman for very little kids. Like he's always been, if you got a kid who's just getting into comic books, you give him a Shazam comic.
Yeah.
And so it's there's parts of it I think are really well done, but it's odd. Like Mark Strong's great in it.
Mm-hmm.
The cast is really good.
I
thought the opening with the Dr. Savina's flashback where his dad, the car wreck.
Yeah,
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I did.
And so there's parts of it I think are really well done, but then there's parts of it that just seem just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I just felt like there was a lot. It was a lot of the same.
And it doesn't matter because there's The Rock is going to play Black Adam, Shazam's arch nemesis in the movie. So basically, it's just a setup for this movie with The Rock.
Yeah.
So it really, it's just, as long as it made its money back, it was fine.
Which I'm sure it probably did in some.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't like it. I didn't follow. Like I don't know. I was really stoned when I was watching it, so I felt like the graphics or the effects were subpar, and maybe I was on my own head, but I just felt like it's a lot of the same. Like every movie now, every superhero movie is the same. It's the same structure.
So I disagree with that somewhat because at least it doesn't have a giant energy beam at the end going up into the sky like the Avengers or Suicide Squad or Man of Steel or basically there was for like 5 years there was a movie where it was a superhero movie. It was ending with a giant energy beam shooting into the sky.
Oh, that's a good point.
And
it's different. It's light enough and different enough and kiddier.
Right.
It's not. This isn't like. I find that all these newer, and by new I mean over the last 8 years, maybe 10.
Yeah.
These movies are geared towards adults.
Right.
They're not geared towards children anymore. This is completely geared toward children, even though it does have some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
some crazy parts. Yeah.
It's weird saying for me that had they gone lighter, I think it probably could have been more successful. Because when they were developing the movie, all you would hear was it's superhero movie. It's big as a superhero movie, which it is. That's what the character is.
Yeah.
It's a little kid who becomes an adult.
Yeah.
It's just, but I think I don't know, maybe the director wasn't, because he was a horror movie director.
I don't know.
I think maybe he wasn't secure enough to just ditch that stuff completely.
Lighten it up
completely. As much as you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Not terrible.
It's not terrible.
But
it's not terrible.
I'll never watch it again.
Yeah. I won't.
Not if I can help it.
Yeah.
I won't see it again.
Yeah.
I also watched, it's on Hulu right now, and I watched it just because I had time to kill, King Kong.
Which one?
The Peter Jackson King Kong.
That's you did have time to kill.
Yeah. I did. It took an hour.
Yeah.
An hour. We counted it. It was an hour and 1 minute and 37 seconds before they got to that island.
Right. Yep.
From the boat.
From the boat.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Getting to Skull Island.
Yeah.
That movie, I
They
didn't
jumped off that
realize.
fucking boat like 25 minutes in. I guarantee it. Yeah.
It was. You didn't like it at all,
No,
did you?
I don't like it at all.
You didn't like any bit of it.
I
thought the
dinosaur fight is cool. When he fights
There's
the
some
T-Rex.
things that are cool.
Yeah, but that's just a duplication of the 1933 version.
Yeah.
You're right.
There's
And
nothing
yeah.
like I actually thought Skull Island, the one that came out 2 years ago, took place during Vietnam,
Was cool.
I thought that was really cool because
Yeah.
it's not giving you the same thing,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's almost like Peter Jackson just did a whole homage movie.
yeah, well, I mean, it's his favorite movie.
It's
of
his
all time.
favorite thing ever.
And if someone gave you an unlimited amount of money to remake, like if they were gonna remake Raiders, they said it has to be remade, and they told you had a limitless budget, and they said you should do it because you love it so much.
You would completely fuck it up.
Yeah, because you're too precious.
Even as much as you love it, you would try to hang on to the original, but you would fumble it.
Yeah.
And
I would not do it. I would not do it unless I had to.
Right.
I'd be like, I can't do that movie. That's not my.
And that's kind of an odd thing that Jackson would even want to do it.
Right.
Really.
Agreed.
That being his favorite, it's like, why would you even want to even step there? Man,
Right.
that's like holy ground.
Yeah.
We have speaking of big King Kong and loud noises, we've got a thunderstorm going on. So if you're hearing cracking and stuff, it's not my mother cooking bread in the background. It's actually a thunderstorm going on. I don't know, something. There's nothing going on. We're not having any construction here at the studio.
Crackle threads ready.
We've got Hansel and Gretel in the oven. Come on, you.
Are you stoned now?
No.
Okay.
God, no, I wish. Although we are drinking champagne here in the studio. Well, at least Doug is drinking
Somebody
champagne.
is.
So, yeah, saw that. So, yeah, I think I appreciated the effects in it. The end is ridiculously good. Like the planes, the way that he does the planes, and the way he climbs up. I mean, just the way he does everything. Yes, it's almost like Gus Van Sant's Psycho, shot for shot kind of thing.
It's better than the '76 remake of Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
Ew, I don't know.
It's close, man.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange. She made it back then. Sorry. All apologies to
Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
Because she was good too.
but she's no Jessica.
But why is Adrian Brody in the movie?
I'm not sure.
Like he just seems like
Jack
the
Black
violence
was
in-
great.
Like the
As the-
violence in Shazam, Adrian Brody seems completely out of place.
Yeah.
It's like Jack Black seems like he's from the '30s, the way he talks and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and he was
Like has
total
that sort of
scumbag.
cadence.
He was
perfect.
the best part of that.
Oh, he
Oh, he was.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of him,
Yeah.
going from doing, his comedy
Yeah.
shtick to live action.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought he did a great
Yeah, he's
job.
really good.
Better than a lot of people do.
Right.
Put in that kind of similar
Absolutely.
scenario.
Well, speaking of Raiders, and I'll probably lose a lot of credibility to some of our listeners. I don't have any credibility with you guys anyway.
This is a fact.
That's right. That's right. But one of my favorite westerns of my time, this is taken away from spaghetti westerns and things like this. I watched Wyatt Earp, and I, being a Raiders, Lawrence Kasdan directed and written. You're just waiting. Come on.
God,
Man,
he's
dude.
coiled like a fucking
You watched
cobra.
the Peter Jackson King Kong and then watched the 4-hour.
So you had 9 hours of
You had
nothing.
just like a day to kill.
Yeah.
I
So,
did.
so there, yeah, okay.
I
Jeez
told you,
Louise.
I have not been. I've been out of my element. I have been in Asheville,
Right.
basically working from a sofa, waiting for my son to get out of day camp every day.
Right.
So there's this time where I am not. My wife is not calling me to do this, and people aren't calling me to do that, and my editing system's in the office an hour and a half away. So all I have is my laptop, my notepad, and this TV.
Well, to go back to Indiana Jones, to quote the knight from the end of Last Crusade, you chose poorly.
Oh, shit.
I happen to like
Oh, God.
Wyatt Earp. It's star-studded cast. Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid
Dennis
doing
Quaid is the best. Dennis Quaid's the best thing in the movie.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what's funny is everybody will remember Val Kilmer's performance as Doc Holliday. but it was actually Dennis Quaid who was more accurate. That was how Doc Holliday was.
He more accurate.
He wasn't all.
You say so. I mean, I don't know too many people who were around back then, but
well, I know a couple of historians that'll tell you that Dennis Quaid did it.
It is a more accurate movie.
More accurate movie
for sure.
Gene Hackman, Michael Madsen. You got Tom Sizemore, Adam Baldwin,
Bill Pullman.
I mean, Annabeth Gish. Lots of people in this movie. It got Razzies for worst remake, worst actor, worst picture, worst director. Yet I own it, and I love watching it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just that kind of movie for me. I like the epic. You don't like it at all?
I would, like... I can't imagine the context at which I would take the time out to watch it from beginning to end. Now, if it was on TV and there was a cool scene, like, I might watch a few minutes, but I will never watch the whole thing again. Especially if I own Tombstone, which I do.
So you would watch Tombstone before Wyatt Earp?
Oh, 1,000 times.
He would watch it 10 times on fucking loop before he would even.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the whole Razzie thing. I think the Razzies are bullshit. It's right. And it's not a terrible movie. It's just
4 hours long.
It's like The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff. Everything about The Right Stuff is great. But The Right Stuff is 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And it should have been a TV show. Now, had that Lawrence Kasdan turned into a miniseries, could have been the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's kind of a Costner at the height of his sort of 90s hubris, right before, and just, when he could just do no wrong.
Was this before or after Waterworld?
This is right before.
And what was the other one? The Postman?
The Postman.
Because those two just torpedoed his ass pretty quick.
And I find it a bland movie.
I can't remember one
I'm sure it is historically accurate, but, who cares?
I have a movie that is not universally liked, that's from that same time period that I like for some reason.
Oh, look at me coming to my defense. Okay.
Well, it's not that movie, but...
I know, but
like The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
But I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And I always will fucking love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah,
you guys are going to sit here and tell me that Quick and the Dead, you guys
The Quick and the Dead is a better movie than Wyatt Earp?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is.
You're out of here.
That Sam Raimi camera work is the shit. That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, when she shoots Gene Hackman, he looks down and he sees the hole in his shadow. That's the fucking shit.
Yeah.
And again, it's like...
I forgot Sam Raimi. That was Russell, introduction to Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. DiCaprio is like 15 in it.
Yeah.
He's
like a can of joke.
Oh, yeah.
He's the
Sharon
kid.
Stone is the...
Sharon Stone's the chick.
like
Gene Hackman's the fucking bad guy.
It's like a can of joke cola. You know it's terrible for you.
But you're going to chug it down.
You're going to drink that shit and then with.
Yeah.
Well, never mind that.
Sorry. I feel like we do this to you every week.
I know.
And it's fine, man.
I don't want to, man.
I mean, I'm sorry.
But then you come in and say you love Wyatt Earp, and that's just... Yeah. Anyway.
If it makes you feel any better, I love Tombstone as well.
Yeah.
And I do like The Quick and the Undead. Or Quick and the Dead, excuse me. The Quick and the Undead is one of Clint Hummel's zombie movies. We had him on last week. All right, well, with that said, let's get into the old Western. And this is our film for this week. It's Appaloosa. You want to introduce the movie?
Absolutely. It's from 2008. It is directed and starring Ed Harris, co-starring Viggo Mortensen, Jeremy Irons, and Renee Zellweger. And also has the small part Lance Hendrickson's in it for a few minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, really, it's,
awesome cast.
It's an awesome cast, and it's really the last, classic Western, I think, that's been made. Like, as far as, it's a movie like Gary Cooper could have been in.
Yes.
If he was alive today.
Sure.
If that's what I mean by it. And based on a novel by Robert... I can't remember the same guy. Do you remember that show Spencer for Hire in the 80s?
Yeah.
He wrote the same guy wrote the Spencer novels.
Oh, okay.
And he actually died writing the sequel to this book. His wife came in and he was just the typewriter. He just had a heart attack.
Damn.
And the way you think crime writers will die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love this movie. I love 90% of this movie. I think it looks great. I think it's got the script is amazing. Like just the lines in the movie.
Oh, the dialogue's awesome.
And it's what's funny is it's the perfect. Like if you went in to pitch this movie, it's two friends hired to police a small town who has problems with a rancher, and then it gets more complicated when you add a love interest. It is the blueprint of all westerns.
Yes.
Bring in the police. We've got a problem with the guy. Two policemen are brought to the town to fix it, and all hell breaks loose.
It's like you said. It's like on paper, it's the most stereotypical western you can think.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I say it seems like a Gary Cooper movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pitching this classic film. If you pitch that to somebody at the studio head, they'd say, "We've done that a million times."
Right.
However, because let's do it again because Ed Harris wants to do it.
Right, and this is the movie he directed after Pollock.
Yeah.
The movie he won the Oscar for.
Yes, that's correct.
So I mean, I love almost everything about it. I love the cinematography. I love the costumes, the script, the lighting. Like when the two cowboys sitting up on the ridge and Ed Harris rides up there and he says, well, "You're out of your jurisdiction." And he's like, "Well, you are by God right." And he just takes his gun out, pistol whips the guy in the mouth, and knocks his front teeth out. He goes, "You're not my teeth out." And then Harris just goes, "Well, Colt makes a heavy firearm. That's a fact."
Yeah,
and just like the little lines he says are amazing.
Yeah.
When he shot those two guys and they're all staring at him, he's like, "I warned him."
Yeah.
I warned him.
I will say the movie is like for this sort of classic romantic type western. The violence is very brutal, and I think that's what sets it apart from like. This is a movie I think someone who wouldn't never watch a John Wayne movie, I think they could enjoy this movie because it feels more contemporary than that, even though it does seem very sort of old fashioned. But having said all that, the third lead of the movie is played by Renee Zellweger. And she ruins the fucking movie. Like, she just... Because I paused it when she walked in. It was 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm loving this movie so much. Like, you know, and then she just comes in and just... She's the turd in the punch bowl that is this movie.
Yeah.
She looks like she's staring into the sun while biting into a lemon. First of all, she's only good in Jerry Maguire. That's the only movie she's good in. She just...
Agreed.
Okay. And I will admit she is very good in that movie.
Yep.
But I just don't like her.
Her face looks like it was wax, and then like in between takes, they had to put fans on it. And as the scene's going on, her face is starting to melt.
And it's not even just her face. Like, I can get past that.
She was terrible.
It's her mannerisms, it's everything.
It's her. First of all, she's from Texas, and her southern accent is fucking terrible in this movie.
I know, this is my notes for this movie. Just real quick. Ed Harris at his best.
Yeah.
Viggo at his best. Jeremy Irons as himself. Renee at her worst. But I don't think there is a worst.
Yeah.
Because there is not a good.
No.
Because she really has been only one film that she's been good at.
Every time I watch this movie, I'm like, damn, if this was Diane Lane, this movie would be perfect.
Oh, agreed.
You know, I mean, it's like another similar thing I can have is every time I watch Gangs of New York, I love this movie. I'm digging it. And then in the frame walks Cameron Diaz. And I'm like, fuck, I forgot she was in this movie. It happens every time.
Yeah.
And I've seen it 25 times.
Yeah.
She just comes wandering in, just like, oh, by the way, here I am to do my shitty accent.
Oh, in Gangs of New York?
Gangs of New York,
yeah.
And there, I mean, you know, it just, she just, I don't like her. I don't like her in this movie. You know.
Everything
else.
Everything about this movie is a fucking 10 or 9.5.
Yeah.
But like Lee said, immediately when Mrs. French shows up, I was like, oh yeah, that's why I fucking hate this movie.
Yeah.
Lemonsquint Sourwegger just showed up and fucking ruined everything. She might as well have just fucking lifted her skirt up and pissed in the middle of the fucking floor in the middle of a take.
Yeah.
That's how fucking horrific she is.
Yeah.
I fucking hated her character in this. So the only other character that I can think of that I hated just as much was the chick from Legends of the Fall. Same fucking thing. Like,
Julia Ormond.
yeah, do you think I'm pretty? Let me fuck everybody in the room because I have zero fucking self-confidence in myself, and I'm just gonna fucking destroy all these men. And that's exactly what she does, and that's exactly what
Let me explain how terrible Renee Zellweger's character is in this movie. She's like Ellis in Die Hard.
Yes.
She's that level of douche.
Yes.
Because that's a special list I keep in my mind.
Yeah, there's
characters that are like fuck. Because Ellis is the worst.
He's the worst.
Ellis is the worst.
He is the
ever.
worst.
And that guy is. I'll say that's a really good performance because he makes you hate Ellis. So
Yes.
much. Her performance is like stilted, and she's doing this weird accent, and it's just like.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Yeah.
Classic slut move.
Yeah, just like.
Just ruin everything.
Yeah.
It just, the whole tone of the movie changes.
It does. But when she's not in it, it becomes awesome again. Like when they have the shootout with Lance Hendrickson, and they all just shoot each other and fall down, and Big Guy's like, well, that was over quicker than I thought. And Ed Harris is like, everybody knew how to shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just, the dialogue is like quick and witty and awesome.
And awesome.
Yeah. And I weirdly, I wanted this, when this movie, the trailer came out, I wanted to see it so bad. And when I went to the movie theater in Shelby, I said, it's got to be playing in Shelby. Got to be playing in my hometown. They were playing fucking Beer for My Horses with Toby Keith instead. And I knew the guy who was the assistant manager of the theater. He said, yeah, man, we couldn't get Appaloosa. We had to take the fucking Toby Keith movie. And for like 10 years, I always assumed every movie I wanted to see, there was some alternate movie. Yeah. Fucking Toby Keith in it. And fuck that guy, too.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, this thing is not even a love triangle.
No.
It's like a goddamn love rhombus.
Yeah.
Because she bangs at least 4 fucking dudes in it. And she
kisses Vigo.
Yeah, she's just fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
Like you say, turd in the punch bowl. Like, and I know that the end had to go down like it did, and it's great the way that it was done, but it's like, man, why?
Yeah.
This doesn't have to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of sacrificed the movie for me.
It's a great movie that isn't completely satisfying.
It could have been. Could have been up there with the greats in my mind, but it's a story about this, and maybe had they put in a different actress, it would have been different. Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe I would be cussing whoever the fuck else they put in there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say this about Ed Harris because Ed Harris is a fucking awesome actor. He is he's one of the really rare guys that are just as entertaining as the heroes as they are as the villains.
Right.
Like, he can do both equally well, and a lot of people fail at that, and he is a fucking master at that, dude.
Yep, exactly.
And,
and he looks like an actual human being.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the last people, like, I don't say Ed Harris is ugly, but he's very rugged looking. Like,
he's grizzled as fuck.
Yeah, we don't have actors like that anymore. Yeah. Like, he's like, if he came out now, if he was the age he is now, in Creepshow age now, he'd be playing a fucking mailman in some TV show. Yeah. Because he was so kind of a weird looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't wear hair plugs. He hasn't had any fixing. He's not like Tom Cruise, who looks the same.
Yeah.
Ed Harris looks older, and he looks.
Because he is.
And that's just.
But
who
he looks
is.
awesome too.
And he looks great.
He looks like he's made
the intensity he brought to that role in The Rock is like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was the highlight of that, and that movie was great.
Westworld, he was the highlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
He to me carried the show.
I mean, even Mother, he was great in Mother. I know you don't remember that movie, but he was.
Oh, I remember it all right.
But yeah, that's
okay for me. It's still a punch bowl. If you've never seen this movie, I think it's still it's a if you see it for $5 on DVD or Blu-ray, buy it.
Absolutely,
because everything about it is so great except one thing, and it's Renee Zellweger.
I believe she'd fuck anything not gelded. I believe Ed Harris says, or somebody said it.
Right. But yeah, I love it. Except that one thing.
Except that one thing. What did you call her? What is her name?
Lemonsquint Sourwegger.
Lemonsquint Sourwegger.
Yeah, just fucking comes in.
Renee Lemonsquint Sourwegger.
Yeah, she's like an energy vampire.
Yeah, just comes in, sucks it
right out of the room.
Yeah.
The turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that is Appaloosa. The review for this week. We've only got one more week of Westerns. What are we doing next week?
The Grand Duel.
The Grand Duel.
Nice.
As we're going backwards. Yep. Well, news this week. There might be a possible remake of Enter the Dragon. Take it away, Lee.
It's been announced. Actually, the last time it was announced was Spike Lee said he was going to do it. And I'm really glad that didn't happen.
No.
But this is David Leitch, the guy, he co-directed the first John Wick, and he directed Deadpool 2. He said he is wanting to, and that one could possibly, this one could get made, I think. But I don't think it should, because the first one, if you subtract Bruce Lee from it, it's just a James Bond ripoff. He's what makes it great.
Right.
And Jim Kelly and John Saxon supporting him.
Agreed.
But without him, it's a low budget early 70s action movie that probably got lost amongst all the other ones. But I can't imagine who they could cast do it.
This is on the list of do not fucking remake.
Yep.
Just leave it out. I don't care who you put in any role. I don't give a fuck who's directing it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Leave well enough alone.
There's certain things that don't ever need to be touched, and this is one.
If you're going to redo something, redo Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and make it better.
Right.
If you're going to redo it, I would leave Enter the Dragon.
Because the Dragon's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's like early 70s cool.
You're never going to be able to emulate it or even get close. Just leave it out.
Yeah, really. Because, the director, like Robert Klaus, he was deaf. So that's why the movie looked so great, because he was a cinematographer.
Yeah.
You're never going to put all those pieces together. You're never going to find a John Saxon. You're never going to find Jim Kelly.
No.
Shin Khan, the guy who plays Mr. Han, he was like 55. He'd been in like 1,000 kung fu movies.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he looked like he was born to play Mr. Han.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unduplicatable.
Mm-hmm. Just don't.
Yeah, exactly. But let's go ahead and not do that.
Please don't do that.
And I'm surprised Shannon Lee, she's upset with Quentin Tarantino. I'm surprised that Shannon Lee isn't, campaigning or lobbying to because I'm sure she thinks the same thing that we do about that. There's got, the Enter the Dragon is Bruce Lee's legacy. It's not a remake of a movie.
Yeah. The first studio movie starring an Asian guy.
Yeah.
And not just a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah. Big time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, she's upset at Quentin Tarantino because she thinks that the way he depicted Bruce Lee as a kind of a cocky a-hole, was what'd she call it?
Disrespectful.
Yeah, it was very disrespectful.
Well, we're in a parallel, different universe in this movie, so it doesn't. That shouldn't matter.
I'll say this: I agree with her, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
She's entitled to her opinion. It was her dad. She has an informed opinion. I'll listen to anything she's got to say on the subject.
Sure.
But like you said, it's a universe where Sharon Tate lived.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Maybe in this universe he doesn't die at 33, and if you were, he becomes the biggest movie star ever.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
don't want to spoil what happened.
Don't want to spoil what happens, but like I say, I even somewhat agree with her. With his kind of makes him an a-hole, but it doesn't matter.
But I like that because I'm pretty sure everybody who is that I've ever heard who knew him, he was absolutely not like that.
Yeah.
And I know that Tarantino probably as much or if not more than anybody else would also know that.
Right.
And I think just doing that, it was just kind of...
It's a fun little scene.
He just wanted to do something different, and it was different, and so fucking,
And he probably was a little bit. He probably was.
Everybody has that days. Maybe he was like, if that did happen, let's say that did happen. Maybe he was just in a bad mood that day, and some stunt guy laughed at it. It could happen.
Well, I've seen him in some interviews, and he comes off like I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah, but they just happen to be.
Yeah.
Be water.
Yeah.
Be water. Everything. When he talks kung fu,
he
makes it say he talks very strongly and confidently.
Yeah.
And it could come off as cocky. Dude, why am I even justifying this? If I was freaking Bruce Lee, I'd be an asshole too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
You couldn't tell me shit.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me shit. I don't give a damn.
So
I don't give a damn. Old washed up Brad Pitt, you want to fuck with me? Come on, let's go. Seriously. So, and I'm sure that's how Quentin Tarantino, if I want to justify or defend Quentin Tarantino on this one, I get Shannon. I understand it. Like, I understand her beef. But she also, at the end of it, disclaimed that maybe he was just doing it
There's a reason. There's
because
a
they're
reason.
anti-heroes. Yeah, because she said because the two, because Brad Pitt is such a bad guy, putting him up against him in that scene, makes Bruce Lee better.
Yeah.
Either way.
But it will in no way harm the legacy of Bruce Lee.
No.
He's the biggest actor ever. And by that I mean, if you go on Amazon and type in Humphrey Bogart t-shirts, you might get 10 t-shirts. You type in Bruce Lee t-shirts, there's 5 pages of just t-shirts.
Yeah.
There's no actor that is that legendary for, not necessarily his roles, just for himself. So, like I said, in a year, no one will remember it. They won't remember the movie just for that, is what I'm saying.
And if they do,
They'll remember the movie because it's awesome.
Yeah.
They won't be like, isn't that movie with the Bruce Lee thing?
And if you want to hear what we had to say about it,
Yeah.
it's available.
It is available.
Right, Garrett?
It is available.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's available on our Patreon page.
Snap out of it, Zipper.
So it took me a second to figure that out. But yes, if you'd like to hear what we think about that movie, that's also another movie we watched this week. We went and saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we would love to talk about it, but you have to become one of our Patreons. So go to the Patreon page. It's patreon.com, Video Store Tales. Sign up. We've got merch. We got T-shirts. We've got pins coming. We've got shout-outs, extra content. Just become a Patreon and see what happens. It's going to be great.
Yep.
Lee, so you got a movie for us this week?
I do.
Okay,
It's a
great.
movie from 2006. It's called Seraphim Falls. You ever seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a Western starring Liam Neeson and Pierce Brosnan, and no one has ever seen it. I think it came out in 2000. Had it came out after Taken in 2008, it would have had a much bigger audience. And it's very weird. It's basically a revenge movie. Liam Neeson's family died in a fire, and he blames Pierce Brosnan for it. And in the 5 years since then, Pierce Brosnan, I'll say it's the best thing. It's the best performance Pierce Brosnan's ever given. Like, he's cooler in this than he ever was as James Bond. Mm-hmm. There's a scene towards the end where Liam Neeson and his henchmen roll up, and there's a dead horse. And they're looking, the horse has been gutted and everything, and they're just like, and the henchman's like, what kind of animal would do something like this? Pierce Brosnan erupts from the inside of the dead horse, covered in blood, and just grabs the knife and puts it to the henchman's neck. Like, he was hiding. He was
hiding in the dead
perched
horse.
in the dead horse,
Yeah.
waiting on Liam Neeson. And like I said, it's a very weird movie. Like, towards the end, it becomes very dreamlike, But it's a really cool looking movie.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting. It's very quick. Directed by David Von Acker, who directed.
You ever seen it?
I don't think so. I was trying to think.
He was one of the main directors on the Shield. Excuse me. And this was his, and it just got. I think Sony just buried it. Like, they just realized, we just made a weird Western.
And it is weird.
It's very weird.
But it's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. And I don't think he's made another movie since then. He's directed a bunch of TV. And like I said, had it came out in 2009, a year after Taken, it probably would have gotten a bigger release. Because that was, it was 2 years before Liam Neeson became a giant action star. And but I recommend it. It's on DVD.
Yeah.
Very cool movie.
Yeah.
Seraphim Falls from 2006.
Nice.
I remember that. I have not seen it.
I love Pierce, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched any of The Sun?
No, I haven't watched any of The Sun.
No, you haven't seen any
No.
of it? He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
in it, dude.
Like when he's playing like
It's a
dark
cool story,
character,
yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah.
Like in Seraphim Falls.
Yes.
Yeah. Like when he's up in the tree and the bounty hunter's around the base of the tree and he just holds the Bowie knife up and drops it and it just embeds in the guy's head, and it's in like the Sierra Nevadas, and it's just there's 10 feet of snow, and he drops out of the tree and he guts the guy, and you see the steam coming out of the dead guys, and he just sticks his hands in to warm
him up.
in the dead guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how has no one seen this movie?
Yeah.
James Bond just killed a guy with a Bowie knife.
Yeah.
And
It's good.
and he's being hunted
Spell
by
that
Liam
again.
Neeson.
Seraphim?
Yeah, Seraphim. Sefrim. Seraphim.
Yes.
It's basically the old word for angel. It's the old Hebrew word for angel. Seraphim Falls.
All right. That sounds
There'll be an
like
article about it tomorrow on the website.
Yes, if you want to check it out.
yeah.
So then
Yeah, like I say, it's not.
I'll save my Thomas Edison ink.
It's not great.
My
It's
moleskin
No, it's not great,
but it's one that needs to be seen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somehow got lost in the
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, for anybody that watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there was two leading. Leonardo was the lead, and Brad Pitt was the supporting. I would say they were both leads, the way that the movie panned out, and it was fantastic. But I would like to hear on the showdown this week which performance you liked better.
Okay.
It is a very close race. Yes, Brad Pitt's character is cooler and slicker. However, DiCaprio's character was more vulnerable, and like you said in our Patreon exclusive, he was pathetic.
Yeah.
But the role still was nonetheless fantastic.
Scorsese. Tarantino came out today and said the character was bipolar. He said that's why he acts like that. He said he basically wrote him as a bipolar.
Well, that shows.
Yeah, and it does show.
Yeah, it shows.
And it shows.
Yeah, and
So
DiCaprio's great. Like when I say the character's pathetic. DiCaprio's amazing.
Right. So if you're going to give the Oscar, if there's only 2 Oscars, Best Actor, and they're both from this film, who you giving it to?
DiCaprio.
That'll be the showdown. Oh, give it away already.
Well, that's who I would pick.
Well, that's what I wrote down in my little moleskin was
Well, I know who it
with
won't
my
be.
Thomas Edison ink.
But that's not necessarily saying that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know,
Yeah.
and saying that he's not the main character, maybe. But go back and think about it, and you might change your mind about that.
Maybe.
I'd say they're co-leads. Yeah.
You know, it's God. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I know.
I cannot.
Because there'll be so many things you pick up on the second.
Oh yeah, like always.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We got a trailer.
Let's pull up a little something.
Let's pull up a little something.
Let's finish a good show with a terrible trailer.
Finish strong with the trailer.
I don't know if it's going to finish.
I mean,
strong.
it's no White Earp. But I mean, what is? And I think finally, after months and months,
Pull up the name.
I think we're gonna finally put.
Pull that Judy Garland
Oh,
trailer up
fuck
with Renee Zellweger.
Oh
in it.
my god! Oh my! I'd rather walk through hell with gasoline soaked drawers on.
In the words of my good buddy Josh, I would rather press on my eyes for 45 minutes
Yeah.
than to watch this trailer. So we just watched the trailer of Necrotronic with Monica Bellucci in it. It's going to be, it's an Australian film
Yeah.
about necromancy
And the internet.
and the internet.
God.
No.
I bet Lee
We
can't
pan
wait.
that.
Lee can't wait to see it.
I don't say I can't wait to see it. If it comes on Amazon Prime, I'll watch it.
I just don't understand you sometimes.
I didn't ask you to.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, well,
We bounced the trailer of the highly anticipated The Lighthouse, Robert Eggers' follow-up to The Witch, to watch that goddamn garbage festival.
Oh my god. Yeah.
we did.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love the Lighthouse, aren't you? Oh my!
I don't know.
And actually, I hear the DVD's gonna come with a box with Robert Eggers' farts in it, so Doug can open it and smell it. What a bunch of fucking bullshit! God dang! Oh, they were like, he made it with like silent movie cameras. Oh really? Did he? I'm sure that will make it good.
So there you go. There's your showdown. We're gonna put Necrotronic. We're gonna put the Necrotronic and the
Trailer versus the fucking trailer.
versus the Lighthouse trailer up on the showdown on the Facebook page. You tell us which movie you want to see more. And just remember, if you lose, you'll get a box of Doug's farts delivered Prime free of charge.
Yeah. Doug will show up at your house with a bottle of champagne and watch The Lighthouse.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. That's it, folks, for this week. We're going to go back to drinking champagne and writing in our moleskin books. And smelling Doug's box of farts, or Robert Eggers' box of farts. That's it this week. See ya.